What's up, guys? I wanted to do a little bit of a trade recap tonight. I hope that a lot of you guys checked out the scan last night. If not, go back and watch it. It was a really good one. The focus was whether or not you're going to be here in 10 years. And the idea, the concept behind that is just because, as you saw today, and I've talked to a lot of people, we're at beyond 1999 levels, where just everything and anything is working, and stupidity, and that's not a cut to anybody, but stupidity is the answer right now. And it works. You know, the less you know, the better, really. The more you chase, the better. You know, it's working extremely well. So point here is that it will work until it doesn't work. And, you know, I will keep pounding that into anybody that wants to listen to these videos head, because, you know, it only takes that one trade to lose half your money. And I already told you the story about a friend of a friend, and then, you know, even somebody that might have held over CHK after hours. You know, there was a bankruptcy type headline, and, you know, stock goes from 80 to 35, and even if you had a small position, when you lose 10, 20, 30, 40 per share, that's a lot of money. And that could happen on WLL and OAS and all these other stocks that are, you know, going from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4. And even if you have a relatively small position, typically, you know, a 50% move could be half of your account. So, you know, I'm just going to keep on repeating, and hopefully some, you know, take that warning and they wire some money back. It is an amazing time right now to be a trader. It is literally career changing opportunities every single day. Really is. There's no reason to be fighting things short. You know, there's plenty of time to wait. There's edge. You can trade into a parabolic move and make sure that you're covering. Just like I said in the room today, just like I've said over and over, if you are trading the front side of move, make sure that you are also covering, right? So some people are good at that. Some people are not. If you know you're a stubborn trader, you got to stay away from the front side of the move. And each day I try to put, you know, the key levels where if you are a new trader, you should be staying away from. So I think really the key is, you know, follow the trend right now, but also be aware of what you own. Know the headline risk. You know, if you're trading something that has zero money, there's already been bankruptcy rumors, well, you know, it could be a couple days away. And, you know, that doesn't mean that it's going to go down, you know, right away. But it very well may. But it also turns into a potential 500% mover like Hertz, right? HTZ is higher than when they filed. So that was just more of a situation where, you know, it's just millions and millions and millions of shares are probably short, and Robinhood versus the world versus Wall Street, and a lot of people probably betting on zero, and here it is at nearly $7 after hours. So, you know, right now it's literally everything should be considered a trading vehicle, and if you trade it in any other manner, you know, such as this doesn't make sense, this is a zero, this should go down, it's not going down, and you're ignoring the fact that it has 200, 300, 400, 500 million shares, you're going to get bent. You're going to be on the wrong side of the trade. You're going to get ran over. So, again, there's just no reason to be carrying anything short. And if you're wrong, it's more important than ever to be wrong in this market, because the gaps are lethal. If you were fighting things overnight, you know, I'll give you an example. NCLH, I crushed it off the open. CCL, crushed it off the open. That was my main watches yesterday on Sunday scan. But then, as I said on the scan, take those gains, because there's a good chance that they end up coming back. And there's a good chance they keep on grinding back. So I had put on some more NCLH through the afternoon. I was just kind of dabbling in, getting a feel for it. But I scaled in a little bit. I ended up stopping out on the reversal. And I was a little upset that I did do that, because it was a waste of time, waste of headspace. But it was a perfect example of what I'm saying here. If you're wrong, just move on. There's so many things going on right now that you just need to focus on what's working. If they're not, cut them off and just keep scaling into the winners until the momentum shifts, the move starts to speed up, things like that. And most importantly, like I said, just be aware, know what you own. Things could be raising money right now. They could be doing filings, warrants. They could be offering. And as you saw with DGLY today, nobody cares. It's a supply and demand thing, the law of supply and demand. And right now, the demand is greater than the supply. So just to go over a couple of the trades today. So CCL, for example, that was obviously the main watch for me. And so pretty much was there in the morning into the strength. Traded around the core a little bit pre-market. As you guys know, I like to lock in a little bit pre, just because I don't want to go into the open print full size or really any crazy size, because you never know. Sometimes they swipe up and you end up having some type of situation where you would have been right all along, but that 1 or 2 or 3 candle kind of push got you out because you were too aggressive too soon. So anyway, I always like to lock in. I have no problem putting it right back on right after the open. And so anyway, you can see pretty much scaled in and out around that core. And when you're trading size, it's more important than ever to scale in and scale out around that core. Anytime you get complacent and kind of get into see what it does mode, you're going to get ran over. So I traded both of these the same, NCLH, got pretty much the top prints and whatnot. Great covers all the way down, great covers all the way down. And then I just started to kind of dabble late day. And so there was 3 places where I put on, and again, not that I was getting too aggressive, but there was no reason for me to even think about shorting this thing. There was no reason for me to even think about, trying to find the top. And so that was a little bit annoying for me, just because, I ended up giving some of this, the morning trade back. But I ended up covering it right over here. You can see the green candle under there before the close. And perfect example. There's no reason to take, bad trades. There's no reason to take situations that didn't go as planned overnight. And as you can see, you've got $2 of upside already after hours from the cover. So that's where people end up getting really, really bent is, you were wrong, you stayed wrong, and then you got another $1, then another $1, and then tomorrow morning if it gaps up another $1, you just got smoked. So for me, I always try to leave whatever trade that I had, it's done at the end of the day. Gappers is another story. So gappers, on the long side, that's totally different. This was a WLL, OAS, LLEX. I also had BBOR or BOR, and many others. I don't have the arrows on these charts just because I have them all in E-Trade over here. But I woke up and, speaking of, kind of like record-breaking type things, I've never made that much on gappers as I did this morning in my trading career. So between the WLL idea on scan last night, OAS, BORR I had, LLEX, you name it. There was CRC, among many others. It was intense. I woke up and I was like, wow, this is going to be a good day. So I went ahead and pretty much sized out of half pre-market after 7 to 8 a.m. and things kept on going. So then I started to scale out a little bit more, and I kept about a quarter scaled in and out throughout the day. And then I ended up keeping some of them over tonight. But I focused on things, new ones as well, like SNDL. We've been watching this one for quite some time. And as I said on Twitter, 120s and then 130s is going to be that key level. There was a huge transitional day, where a lot of volume came in and then it ended up coming back. And I had mentioned that this is going to be a key level for the next leg of the journey. And, here we are, we're testing it. So if we're over that tomorrow and we start to base at 130s, we have another potential big runner on our hands. And these types have been going, 30, 50, 100%. So, we'll see what happens. But I'm just looking for solid looking charts that set up with a, multiple time frame breakout whether it be on the intraday chart, daily chart, whatever it may be. When they all kind of clash together, that's when you get that really good breakout. So anyway, that's some other ones that I did today. CRC, we had a nice little headline. Unfortunately, I didn't make it all the way through on the pullback, but I got short on the bankruptcy that they might be filing any day. And nice opportunity, more important than ever, to cover into the flushes, because if you're not and it starts to go up, it's just like HTZ. Things just keep on going up. And then you got a bunch of shorts on the wrong side of the trade, and things continue to go higher. HTZ was fantastic. I had a great trade here, and this is a perfect example of trading the front side of the move, not being a hero, not trying to scale into the top. So every time that I hit it, I covered. Every time that I was there and it didn't do exactly what I thought, I covered. And so I didn't really get a crazy scale until 590s, 550s, 530s, and pretty much anticipated the flush down under 5 to the 440 level or so. And that was right before VWAP, and you can see covered into the flushes. Same thing along the way, left it alone. Went back a little bit after hours there, 680s down to about 630s or so. But in a situation like this, I just hope higher the better. Hopefully we get up there at 7, 8 a.m. I mean, $7 or $8. Higher. Squeeze out the rest of the shorts, and like I said last night on Scan, let them exhaust for you. Don't be part of the exhaustion. If you're part of the exhaustion, you're going to miss the entire trade. So for me, I like to let others exhaust, and then wait for the big transition of shares. Wait for that, just like everything coming out, the entire kitchen sink. And a lot of people always ask me, how do you know when is that time? And obviously the short answer is tape. And that is by watching tape over and over, screen time. There's no yes, no type of answer to that question. However, I have been on the wrong side of the trade, thousands of times. And you've got to put yourself in the position of, okay, well, if you're on the wrong side of the trade, where are you going to feel buried, feel trapped, feel like you just can't get out, and then just say, screw it, I just got to get out. I got to get out. And that's when you want to start to think about shorting, and then wait, and then that next parabolic move or that next huge exchange of shares, that's when it's possible, or that's where the potential is for that first entry. And that's exactly the way that I kind of do this. Pretend you're on the other side of the trade, getting bent, and then you get that good entry. So anyway, this was a huge trade. This was a great opportunity. One that I was a little frustrated with is I was off desk. Stapes had a killer alert in the room, over $80, and if I was there, I had already located it today, and it would have been fantastic. But you got to live life a little bit too. So I was away from the desk, but at any rate, I put on a small feeler on CHK, but I shorted the halt 74. Shorted more 70s, shorted more 67s, and kept on adding, and covered all the way down into VWAP. Fantastic trade. Not a crazy size trade. I think I already only borrowed 2,000 shares this morning, but that's a big trade. I mean, it adds up so fast, and same thing. Late day. This would have been fantastic, but what are you going to do? You can't get them all. So this IVR, another nice opportunity. I think we're going to have big opportunity on IVR and MITT tomorrow. MFA, I think, was another one. Yeah, that one's going up after hours as well. That was one that, the mortgage names that we were kind of watching for that next potential rally. Check the daily chart, just beautiful. MITT, major move. Volume is huge. And IVR, same thing. So I think we're going to have some great opportunities tomorrow. But for me today, it was a little bit of dabble, and then scale on the big transition of shares. And so sometimes you see me have little you see the arrows before, and sometimes the first question people ask is, why are you adding to a loser? Add. But if you're in the room, you see I'm dabbling, just getting a feel for it. And any time that I feel confident or any time that I size up, that's when I actually say, started short and risk versus this level. Anytime before that, I'm just kind of dabbling in, getting a feel for it. But very happy with the way that I traded this one. Yeah, I left a good chunk on the table, but this was a great opportunity to take advantage of just that full squeeze out and be there on the way down. And you could have traded any size really that you were comfortable with. There was no lack of liquidity, and it was a great opportunity for a quick, basically $1.50 per share. Other than that, a couple others, car, I was there, fumbled it. I got some up here at the 36s. This is one from the scan last night, kind of being familiar with it. I set some price alerts. It triggered a few, and obviously I minimized it. Had I not traded it right off the open and I waited for VWAP to kind of, fail, then I would have had a nice opportunity to be more patient with it. But since I was trading that front side, I was a little bit more, jumpy on it, and I missed that opportunity. ENOB, big fumble here. I didn't want to get in trouble. I didn't want to get in trouble pre-market, 17, 18, 19. I had a plan, cruise lines, real liquidity, real names. I'm not going to get bent, being in there and things like that. Whereas with ENOB, you never really know. It just ran from 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 to 19. What's to stop it going 23, 24, 25? So, yes, there was a great opportunity there. Yes, there was a nice push right over here, failed follow through, and it never went back up over VWAP. Yes, but it is what it is. But a newsletter did try to bounce this with their subscribers. They failed at it miserably, so that's why I participated in this particular one. So basically faded it from 13 down to about 8.90. So that was great, but there was another, $4 to go, or $3. So, that's okay. You're going to be patient with some, you're not going to be patient with others. So other than that, Val, nice opportunity. This is great to see after hours. So I shorted the morning shove, covered the flushes, and you can see VWAP held throughout most of the day. Nice ABC setup, breakout, squeeze into the after hour session. So all of these are setting up for tomorrow. So try not to step in front of them. Let them blow off. But just understand that the higher that these go, the more they're going to pull back, right? So what that means to you is you don't need to get the top. You don't need to be first in, because after the crack, as you saw with SRNE and CODX and Space, SPCE, even DraftKings, maybe like a week ago when it pulled back that day, after that first crack, after it fails a couple times, there is still that huge unwind. And that's where there's a safer, good risk to reward, proper edge type trade. There's a lot that will have trouble trying to find the top and get bent up. At times, sometimes I am stubborn, as I go over many, many times. HTZ, if I was stubborn, it could have been an aggressively bad trade, if I was adding to a loser. But I waited for the transition of volume, and then I sized as soon as it to me, in my opinion, was peaked. And for some, they don't know the difference between, just an uptick and potential end of run. So if that's you, avoid it. Draw a line under prior support and wait until that cracks. And then that's when you can start to go for it. So other than that, we had just so much craziness today. XSPA, no arrows on this chart. It was an E-Trade position. So 7 a.m. I added a whole bunch. It flushed way down, so I covered a whole bunch. Let the trade kind of do its thing all day. I covered flushes and shorted pops, just trading around that core. There's a channel here. We talk about channel trading. So just letting it kind of work. Hopefully they push it up tomorrow again. maybe get some, 230s, 240s, 250s, something like that. But ideally, it falls off people's radar, and ideally we have some type of trade here in the next couple days. So other than that, DKNG faded the trend a little bit. CRC we went over. Home. Not much else for me today. Pretty standard. Just waited for those trades that were on scan. But again, the message at the beginning of scan last night, I want you guys to go back and just watch the first 15 minutes because it's a real thing. A lot of people are making a lot of money right now. And I want you guys to be around in a year. And if you keep going at the pace that you're going, there's a good chance that you will not be. So keep that in mind. If you guys have any questions, reach out. Thank you guys for the comments last night. I've got to go back through them. As you can imagine, it's kind of tough to keep it going with keep everything right on time with answering everything, with getting up at 4 a.m., securing borrows, seeing what happens at 7 a.m., holding a baby, and also trying to juggle life. ADIL was the only other one. Quick little scalp. One thing like that I would leave by saying is don't underestimate the power of taking profits, right? You all want to be patient. You all want to nail the big move. You all want to get that big score. But for a lot of you that are watching these, you're here to learn. You're here to try to build an account. And there's a time to be patient and let things work, and there's a time to build your account. And you should be in account building mode right now. Who cares if you saw a buddy make 200%, 500%, whatever it may be. Right now, you should be trying to build your account at the best ability that you can. And if you nail a trade and you're up a decent chunk, lock it in. Lock it in. Get far away from your starting point as possible, and then you start to let things be patient. For example, I was talking to a friend of mine who was a little frustrated that I could have made more if I was more patient. But there's so many other stories like that where if you were too patient, it would have come back. NCLH for me today, right? I was too patient. I was wrong. I didn't let myself be wrong right away, and instead I let it take some money back. If that was me trying to build a small account when I'm up this much and now I'm only up this much, I'm going to be upset. That difference in my account would have been huge, and that's the point here. So as you're trying to build your account, make sure you lock in. It compounds fast. The key is to keep your losses to a minimum. Money adds up fast in accounts, and so do losses. If you can keep those losses to a minimum, watch how fast the P&L stacks. So that's it, guys. Thank you guys again for watching. Whatever your key takeaway is, write it below, and we'll see you in the room.